So this is my second video blog, and the topic is to describe our digital identity and the behaviors associated with it. So I'm just going to read through each question and answer accordingly. So number 1 asks, how is my digital identity different from my real world self, and how is it the same? So my digital identity is a pretty good representation of who I am. What I primarily post are quotes, funny memes, pictures of adventures, and of friends. I like to post things that inspire me. I frequently keep in mind that my digital identity is one that many people can see. I want my digital self to be an accurate representation of my real world self. I like to make sure that I'm leaving no room for misguidance as to the person that I truly am. Obviously, we glorify our digital identities to make ourselves look more appealing to the public. It's almost like a marketing tactic. Ultimately, one's digital identity is not the real world representation of someone's core. When people meet me, I leave very little room for interpretation. I'm clear, concise, and to the point. I act free in terms of speech and body language. I don't necessarily show that through my digital identity in hopes to keep a modest visual representation of myself in front of family, friends, and potential employers. So moving on to question 2. How does technology enable me to more fully express a specific dimension of my identity? Technology allows us to have the freedom of speech. It guides us in the direction of not having to rely on the initiation of conversation, face-to-face that is. Posting on social media is as if you're making a bold statement, one that viewers can interpret and comment on freely. Although the umbrella of technology provides us with diverse venues to express ourselves, it also creates a sense of vulnerability. We present glimpses of what our core is made up of. These glimpses may not provide the detailed portraits of our identities, but more of an expression of our philosophies. Moreover, it allows me to express my tastes in music, humor, interpersonal relations, emotional release, history, events attended, and fashion sense. So how does technology govern, influence, or shape my identity? Well, this is a question that warrants a longer essay than just a 4-minute presentation, but for the sake of a short video, here it goes. We are products of our environments. We are governed, influenced, and shaped by color, noise, and emotion. These are some of the few attributes technology delivers. Our culture thrives off controversial and non-traditional topics that have an explosive presence in technology. How is my digital identity a product of the social and technological context in which I live? My digital identity shows my presence on social media. I oftentimes post a status or a picture displaying who I'm with and what we're doing. Careful not to post unproductive activities, I want to create an image that shows who I am in terms of the company I keep and the activities we partake in. I seek to gain an emotional arousal from my audience with wit, humor, and the ability to be bold and direct. So number 5, how is my online identity like a performance? The first word that comes to mind is entertainment. Among the many reasons technology and social media thrive at such high rates is due to the level of additive entertainment it brings to one's identity or life in general. I guess human beings shape their online identities by acting in certain ways to trigger emotions, much like stage performers do. We use color, words, and visual stimulus to engage our audience. So on to number 6. How is my behavior different when I know it's public? Certain sectors of the population would definitely answer this differently, but I see the difference in the level of awareness. There are some who don't take their surroundings into consideration before broadcasting their behaviors, which is really unfortunate. For those of us who care about the image we are broadcasting, we keep a close eye on what gets posted in hopes that it will be received tastefully. The older I get, the more I realize my social presence can affect my relationships with potential employers, family and friends, and even with the people I haven't had a chance to talk to in quite some time. Technology allows us to stay updated with current events and people. With hot topics placed on such a public forum, we stand to be judged and looked at through a very particular scope. And lastly, question 7. How does our digital identity affect our sense of who we are as a person? Well, it all depends on how the public reacts to my digital presence. I would like to think I'm confident enough not to care about the opinions of others. But then again, if I cared so little, I wouldn't be on social media at all. Is my digital identity the end all be all? No. Do I enjoy having social media presence? Absolutely. I've found that it's something that I enjoy at a healthy level. I use it for the intended purposes and find that I've become used to it being an everyday part of my everyday life. So that concludes video blog 2. Hope you enjoy.